Tashi Dele, everyone.
Dele.
Welcome.
Chila.
Tashi Dele. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can we hear you, Felix? No?
Again.
Try to pick Felix, try to go to interpretation of. Dear Geshe, welcome. We have some sound issues. Felix is trying to connect the audio.
Sure, take your time.
Yes, thank you, Geshe. And every minute is meaningful, as you said the last time, Geshe. So we can easily just say goodbye again because we are here already now. Thank you, Geshe, for your good advice.
Thank you, Bodhicitta.
Felix, no sound? No?
Maybe Lars, you could introduce.
Yeah, then allow me to introduce.
Just a little tech.
I will just spot my. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody, and Tashi Dele, Namaste, and whatever you would say. Good day. My native language, Danish, and Guten Tag, Bonjour. Welcome to Geshe. We are honored and pleased by your wonderful presence. And Felix was supposed to be introducing. He's the director of Longku. However, we experienced some sound issues. Tara is trying to solve them in the background. And I'm the SPC at Laksam, and I will take care of the introductions. Geshe, you are no strangers to the FPMC centers in Switzerland, and word has it that you will be back maybe next year. We look so much forward to having you back in our area again. Wonderful. We are so blessed. And we are also blessed that today you will give the third and final teachings on the three principal aspects of the path. Today, the wisdom of emptiness, having talked about renunciation and Bodhicitta. And we look so much forward to it. And other words are completely superfluous. So we will, before we go to the teachings, then I would like to offer a mandala. Sashi Perki Yuksing Meto Tramri Rapninji Nihide Gyan Pari Sange Shindu Mehte Uwagi Doko Nanda Shila Jepakshu Jetsun Lama Dam Pakyenam Geshe Kala Yense Tsuchinchi Ita Sampe Dirce Jimala Sakye Chuki Chapa Vatu So Edam Guru Ratnama Talakamya Chayami. Thank you. And again, welcome. We hand the words to you.
Thank you very much, Lars. Thank you so much for the beautiful chanting again and introduction. Yes, and hello to everyone. So we start with setting correct motivations of altruism in order to make our very session to be most beneficial for your ultimate aspiration, which is the actualizing of state of full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So we do that on the basis of while reciting the refuge in Bodhicitta prayer for immeasurable thought, then salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, salutation to our lineage Guru, His Holiness Dalai Lama, like that. Sangye Chedan Zoye Jonan La Janju Bado Dani Jasun Je Daye Je Soye Be Sonam Ji Dola Benjere Sangye Jubara Jo Sangye Chedan Zoye Jonan La Janju Bado Dani Jasun Daye Je Soye Be Sonam Ji Dola Benjere Sangye Jubara Sangye Chedan Zoye Jonan La Janju Bado Dani Jasun Je Daye Je Soye Be Sonam Dola Benjere Sangye Jubara Semje Damje Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Jatan Nidan Da Danyola Nebra Juro Je Semje Damje Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Jatan Nidan Da Danyola Nebra Juro Je Semje Damje Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembra Juje Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Je Judan Dawa Juje Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dawa Juje Semje Damje Nire Jatan Nidan Da Anyola Nebra Juro Je Kange Doze Nezone Dawa Damje Bambe Jere Dambe Jene Tenze Ba Godam Dela Chase Tony Ninja Sundo Jube Lam Seje Seje Kanji Dende Chana Bemo Denze Jaso Sowa Devzo Da Jue Jinje. Oh yeah. So before we start the teaching, to go through the text, take a few moments for us to reflect on the preciousness of this precious human life. Then aspire to utilize this preciousness in the most meaningful way by striving the ultimate meaning of life, and that which is be in the service of sentient beings' happiness, sentient beings' ultimate happiness. And that is oneself dedicating the entire rest of our life actualizing the true causes of ultimate liberation, the merit of method, which by developing one's heart in great compassion, unconditional love, kindness, altruism, then Bodhicitta. Excuse me, sorry. Then creating the right cause to actualize Buddha's form body, that which is ultimate benefit of numberless sentient beings, which carry all the capability to directly, be in the actual service of liberating sentient being in the state of full enlightenment. Then, as well as accumulating the merit of wisdom by developing, firstly, such as wisdom of gross impermanent, then eventually the wisdom of subtle impermanent. then that lead to development of selflessness of person. Then eventually, realizing the conceptual realization on emptiness. Then eventually realizing the non-conceptual realization on emptiness. Then through the actualizations of special insight, the wisdom realizing of emptiness on the basis of shamatha mind, then traveling through the 10 bhumis gradually by eradicating the stages of the defilement from gross to subtle, then actualizing the state of wisdom body of the Buddha, which is your own ultimate benefit, your own ultimate benefit, the cessation from all the faults, cessation from all the defilements, and the state of actualizing the omniscient wisdom. So that is the completions of actualizing meaning of life. So we are on that journey, whichever level that we are, even first time encountering Buddhism, first time, coming to the Dharma center, first time hearing the Dharma teaching. So that is very much like starting steps of actualizing the meaning of the ultimate meaning of life. So when we think of our life, we are in that track, and that track of life is, correct track of life, and that is what meaning actualizing the meaning of precious human life. So here, take a moment to rejoice in that, feel happy about it, then feel motivated as a Buddha's disciple, as being as enlightened Guru's disciple, like such as His Holiness Dalai Lama, and like Lama Tsongkhapa, being as their disciple, is to follow their footstep, is catching up the footprint of the master as a Dharma disciple, is a Pache Bui Simba, is the Kadama masters of saying the son able to catch up on the footprint of the father. So like that. So at least for some, maybe some of you already, maybe going very much side by side along the gurus. Maybe for some, you can see the footstep very, very close by, just right before you, and that you are on the right path, isn't it? And for some of us, at least, not completely 100% near, but then we are visible. Yes, it's up there. You see, yes, that's the footstep of our masters, footsteps of all the past Buddhas traveled. And even though you see it's long distance, but you saw, you saw it straight like that. Sorry, excuse me. So yes, so think about it. It's really blissful, to know that one's life is in that direction. It's truly blissful in your heart. Then the rest of the samsaric matters are very small matter. All the samsaric matters are very short-term thinking, very short-term. How big the trouble may be, it just is very much like kind of lightning, the flash in the moment of darkness. That's it, like that. Even though how roughly it sounds, the challenges in life, how big, how huge the trouble that it may seem, but it is truly it's very phenomenal of a short moment, you see. So therefore, it is so important for us, not to get distracted by the samsaric ups and downs, and rather always get reminded that you are in fact, actualizing the full purpose and meaning of life. So yeah, so take a moment to meditate on that, okay? So then educate one's heart to renounce all the meaningless matters of samsara. Completely get detached, even though how many connections that you establish in relation to family, job, status, including of existent in this samsaric, physical aggregates. Everything that you actualize as object of detachment, while establishing this connection, actualize detachment. While having this basis of life, the aggregates, but detach towards these aggregates. While conventionally, very much a necessity of food, clothing, shelter, family, status, but then have detachment, towards them by understanding the essenceless in it, in terms of time, in terms of value, in terms of benefit that you will receive, in terms of benefit you're able to offer to others, is everything is limited, comparing to the purpose and benefit beyond the worldly concern, beyond this lifetime's concern. So therefore, this is the reasons to be renounced. Renounce means detached from grasping, detach. Okay, you have it, but detach to it. You have connection to all of this, but stay connected without attachment is called renounce. You see? So Buddha Dharma, practicing Buddha Dharma, doesn't mean fall into nihilism. So everything no, everything don't need, everything don't want. In Buddhist practice, you can have everything. Maybe you can have the most. You can have the most, of course. You can have, including enlightenment. Then you can have temporary happiness, ultimate happiness. You can have your samsaric home. You can also have Buddha's mandala. You can have everything actually when you really practice Buddhism. You really understand Buddha Dharma. In fact, you can have everything, but you have to have it correctly, beneficially. And the way to do that is have it with detachment. Have it without attachment, grasping onto it. By annihilating all the fabrications of worldly concerns, annihilating all the fabrications of hallucinations, ordinariness. You see, so this is the meditation or the actual, practice or understanding of what means by renunciation. You see, like that. No, then make your life larger than you can able to imagine, isn't it? You can make your life larger than you can able to imagine. Yeah. Don't just stuck by thinking that you are just a daughter or the son of just a true person, this life's father, mother. Understand you are the daughter or the son of numberless sentient beings. You are daughter or the sons of all the Buddhas. See, you are brother and the sister of all the Buddhas, all the sentient beings, you see. So there's no room for us to feel I'm alone, I'm lonely, I'm helpless. I'm only one person, not like that, You have numberless family members, you see. If you feel it difficult to make all sentient beings as one's brothers, sisters, or friends, then just make it all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the gurus as your brother, sister, and friends. Yeah. You see. Then, we shouldn't just stuck our the space in one small room, one small house or whatever, just just cage ourselves, even you see, it's like lock up. No, we entire universe It's like your own home, isn't it? You see, like especially in Europe, like Switzerland, so beautiful mountains, so beautiful place, There's no way that you feel you're stuck in one room. You're kind of like caged in one small place, and suffocated, feel down. No way, Open your window and look around. It's so beautiful, and these places is yours. Yeah. And then you may say, no, it's other people's land. I didn't bought it. I have no money to buy that mountain. That river or that lake. You don't have to buy. What for you buy? You don't need to buy. You see, that buying even one small space is quite stressful. You need to pay mortgage. You need to work so hard. Yes, okay, you buy it. What you can afford, but don't have to be so small, isn't it? Everything is belong to you. You see, yeah, and especially when you practice, many of you practice daily yoga, then entire universe you create as your mandala, your celestial mansion, you see, literally become yours, isn't it? So in any way, yeah, so even environmentally, you see, you make connection, positive connection to every existence. And appreciate as if it's yours. Appreciate, enjoy the colors, the shapes, the vastness. Beautiful, isn't it? It will make your heart so big. Yeah, you see, there's no room to feel down, because it's outside. It's so colorful plants, so colorful trees, so colorful mountains. You see, oh, yeah. Then your heart, you transform into altruism. You develop, at least through creation at the beginning, develop into altruism. Then your heart becomes so big. You see, that heart of altruism literally make you as a child of Buddha, as we briefly discussed the benefit of Bodhicitta in last session. You see, when you develop Bodhicitta, even a creation one, no need to become Bodhisattva. The moment you develop Bodhicitta, that very moment, the worst person become the greatest person. The most cruel person, the moment you develop Bodhicitta, you become the nicest person, most wonderful person. You see, that's what Nagarjuna have said. Shantideva have said, but we don't have to say, oh, he says so, Shantideva says so. No, we can rationalize. When you learn about the characteristic of the altruism, you can understand logically. We don't need to accept because of Buddha says so, Shantideva says so. When you develop even the altruistic heart, even for one person, you see, genuinely feel how amazing your heart can be, isn't it? When you start to engage creating causes and conditions, even it may be just in your prayers for all the other sentient beings, you can understand how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, and you're able to do that. Isn't it amazing that you're able to concern for so many beings' happiness? So beautiful. And so many numberless sentient beings, even though they, you don't have to call them, you don't have to see them, but they will realize it, you see. They are more formless beings than form beings. They are more non-human than human beings in the sentient being. And all the formless beings, they have capability to see what you think. They have capability, So they don't have to be gods or Buddhas, all the pretas, all the spirit can see what you think. All the spirits, any being pass away, like let's say one ant dies. As an ant cannot see what you think, but after the ant depart from the ant's body, when it becomes spirit, can able to see what you think. And similar goes to all the human beings, all the part of beings can see what we are thinking, you see. So there are numberless more sentient beings who are formless than the form being. And each and every these numberless sentient beings able to appreciate the moment you express your heart of, altruism, heart of great compassion, great love, altruism. The moment you express that, each and every one of them, they feel cared by you. They feel loved by you. You see. And ourselves is the example. If we know someone caring for you, even in the birthday, if someone remember your birthday and give you a call and say, happy birthday, I wish you all the happiness, you feel so wonderful, isn't it? Even one person caring, your heart is completely melt. So that's a proof. That's the proof. Yourself is the proof. When someone expresses love, when we are in difficult times, someone express compassion to you, can be your brother, sister, can be your parent. You feel so heart touched. You see, so heart touched, so help, isn't it? So similarly, the moment you express your compassion, these numberless sentient beings right away, they know you are caring for them. You see, so this is what I meant. Our heart make larger than our life, isn't it? So we can do, isn't it? It's not that difficult to do, isn't it? We can do like that, and this is really is the best, and in one way, it's the easiest way to make you happy, because don't need to go and buy, shopping, or don't need to travel anywhere. Don't need to do anything. As long as you cultivate that, that makes you happy. That makes you real happy. Of course, sometimes maybe ice cream make you happy. Coffee make you happy. This little thing also okay, fine. Why not? But there's also another another thing that which is much more easier than the coffee make you happy or ice cream make you happy. So you see, while going to bed, you just express, this altruism, you feel life is so meaningful. With that, you go to bed, your sleep going to bed, unbelievably beautiful, isn't it? And when you wake up, you realize that, wow, my life, at least for the last 7-8 hours of sleep, because of the cultivation of altruism before you go to bed, you become so fresh. Wow, I can be like that. I can be just like the Bodhisattva. Wow, you see. So yes. Okay. So yes. make the life larger than what you can imagine. So that's my point. Don't we try not to how to say, get distracted by unbeneficial matters which make you so narrow, so small, so useless. It's so harmful. It's like so tiny, but then as if it's like so toxic. Sometimes we think about our life like that. We think about that, we think about this, we think about, there's so many things like. So, in our life we also make a lot of mistakes, isn't it? And we stick with this, stick with that, and we think ourselves is like so toxic. And as if like you are so huge in that toxic. Even how toxic you have been, but it's so tiny when you really compare to the real ability of yourself. If you just give opportunity for you to express that, isn't it? Yeah, so yes. So this is a very, very beautiful, easy reminder meditation to really make your day so happy, meaningful like that. Okay, so now we go to the text, okay? So otherwise we may not finish it. Okay, so yes, 3 principal aspects of the path. And so maybe what I've just said is kind of revision on the 2 principal aspects of the path, the renunciation, Bodhicitta. Okay, then now kick off into the 3rd principal aspect of the path, that is emptiness. Okay, so in the text it says, the first one is a reason to meditate on emptiness, reason to to learn, contemplate, meditate, and actualize the wisdom of emptiness, which Lama Tsongkhapa says like this: without the wisdom realizing ultimate reality, even though you have generated renunciation in the mind of enlightenment, you cannot cut the root cause of circling. Therefore, attempt the method to realize dependent arising. So, without the wisdom, without the without realizing the non-conceptual direct realization on emptiness, which is the wisdom realizing the ultimate reality. Even if you have just realized conceptual realization on emptiness, even you realize selflessness, then of course realizing even then without that direct realization of emptiness, then even though you have generated the renunciation, including of the Bodhicitta, one will not able to actualize the cessations of liberation, because in order to actualize the cessations of liberation, the cessation from all the samsara and its causes, that one need to eradicate the root cause. You need to cut the root cause of the self-existent, the samsara, that which is the self-grasping ignorant. So the self-grasping ignorant has to be eliminated from our system by the direct antidote, which is the opposite, complete, 100% contradictory and opposite to the negation, which is the wisdom realizing emptiness. Even though how precious the Bodhicitta is, it does not contradict 100%, or it does not directly opponent, to the negation, the self-grasping ignorant. Even how beautiful, how wonderful, the path of renunciation, but it is not qualified to be directly opponent to the root cause of the self-existence, which is self-grasping ignorant. You see, so it's like only the light can able to directly antidote to eliminate the darkness. You see, even though the dark room you fill with so many objects, try to block the darkness, even not leaving one single tiny space, but that will occupy the space of the darkness, but that cannot eliminate the darkness. You see, you have to have the light to overcome the darkness. You see, similarly, there's so many different levels of the path, such as the earlier two principal aspects of the path, renunciation and bodhicitta. It able to open on, but it cannot able to open on directly. It able to bring obstacle to the remaining, obstacle to the steadfast of self-grasping ignorant, but it cannot completely, eradicate from its root. It requires the direct antidote, which is the emptiness, the emptiness wisdom. And that emptiness wisdom also has to be the direct, realizations of the ultimate reality. The wisdom has to be non-conceptual wisdom, you see. So if it is a conceptual realization on emptiness, again, it cannot, completely open on to the ignorant. Then, if it is just the wisdom of realizing selflessness of the person, also the force of that wisdom is not good enough to eradicate the root cause of samsara, self-grasping ignorant, you see. So therefore, you need to have the wisdom of emptiness. And that wisdom of emptiness also, wisdom realizing the ultimate truth directly by the wisdom, by the non-conceptual wisdom. By the non-conceptual wisdom. It has to be the wisdom of, level of Arya beings wisdom. The level of that wisdom, level of that, that wisdom has to be the level of Arya beings. Whether it's, hearers or solitary realizers from the Hinayana path, or whether from the tantric, whether from the Mahayanic Sutrayana or Mahayanic, the resultant Vajrayana, the wisdom has to be the level of the wisdom of the Arya practitioners. You see, those who on the level of the path of seeing, have to achieve this state of path of seeing. You see, so now as a beginner, is no way, far away to actualize that level. Even just learning the correct, correct definitions of the object of that wisdom, the correct definition of ultimate reality, then learning how to develop it and train our mind into that wisdom, and developing, gradually, stage by stage. First you develop the gross level of the selflessness by eliminating the gross self-grasping of person. Then eventually you actualize the subtle level of the selflessness of person. Then eventually you actualize the gross level of the selflessness of the phenomena, on our aggregates, like such as form, feeling, etc. Then the rest of the phenomena. Then eventually you actualize the wisdom of the the subtle selflessness of the phenomena. Then eventually you actualize the wisdom of, the non-conceptual realization on emptiness. It is very much, the level of a path of preparation, the wisdom that actualizes, the practitioner who reached path of preparation. Then gradually, you actualize the wisdom of non-conceptual direct realizations on self and rest of the phenomena. You see, so these are the process. So we are on the right path. You see, so even though we have no capability to eradicate the root cause of silent existence right now, but even just by learning emptiness, it already shaken, the foundation, or shaken the, it is base of this, the negation, the ignorant grasping. You see, even just mentioning one time the name of emptiness, that the karmic circumstances that thicken our ignorance, in complete darkness, start to, bring into cracks, bring into shattered. Then you start to, as if you start to see light from those hollows, after shattering that, that very thick kind of wall, then there's light, like one tiny light coming in like that, even just mentioning the name of emptiness, Tongbanyi, you see, even just try to reflect onto it, on its meaning. Even just reciting Tayatha Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Buddhi so the wisdom, the mantra, the Hasutra mantra, which is the mantra of emptiness, or reciting Hasutra, you see, even just by doing that, you see, it already, starting to purify the thickness of the ignorant. And then the more we learn, the more we contemplate, the more we meditate. So that's whatever I mentioned before, the process, the gradual process. It is very much like a natural development into our system. You see, when we talk about emptiness, there's not much word to talk about it. You see, is it very much one word, emptiness, Tongbanyi. You see, what it means, it means dependent arising, the nature of dependent arising. Or what it means is, lack of inherent existence, you see. So even how many, even you read, those complicated texts, philosophy texts on emptiness, is more likely you may find a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, from that perspective, understanding of emptiness, from this perspective, understanding emptiness, this master understanding of emptiness, that master understanding of emptiness, from that philosophy, from this philosophy, it's more like kind of lot of arguments, a lot of discussion to figure it out, but then each one of them, at the end of the day, even Nagarjuna, the Pasangika view, say, lack of inherent existence. This is what it means, emptiness, It's a lack of intrinsic existence, you see. This is what emptiness, you see. Interdependent arising, this is what it means, emptiness, you see. Then what do you mean by interdependent arising? It means emptiness. What do you mean by that? Again, you circle, lack of inherent existence, lack of true existence. So you see, so word-wise, is not many, different words to describe, So once you know the correct definition, which is in fact, what we are learning here, but in short, you see, understanding first the nature of self and phenomena, as a lacking of intrinsic or inherent existence. You see, exist in only in the interdependent way. You see, nothing intrinsically exists. You see, so by repeating, that understanding to make sense to yourself, then you tend to gain wisdom of understanding or wisdom of learning. You see, then that wisdom of learning you take as an object of your analytical meditation. Then after analyzing, with the help of logics, you see, so of course, you can use, all level of your own capability of logics, or you can use help from the scriptural suggestions, such as, the logic of chariot, the carriage, the 7 different analogy of carriage, or the 4-point analogies, so there are a few, the analogies that you can use as a logical reasoning to make yourself understand what do you mean by selfless. Self is empty of inherent existence, or the phenomena is empty of inherent existence. So, and of course, you can put the text on your table, such as, the Great Lamrim, the Wisdom chapter, or Nagarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom, or Shantideva's, the 10, the 9 chapter, you see. So for us, or for anybody, not only for us, for anybody, if you want straightforward without needed to, get confused by so many different philosophical presentations, then stick with, Lama Tsongkhapa's the Lamrim, the Wisdom chapter, or Shantideva's Bodhisattva Acharya, the 9th chapter. Then you use those, lines to reason, to make sense to yourself. What do you mean by, emptiness? You see, then eventually you will come to a point that, oh, I see, this is it. Yeah, this is it. There's a sense of conclusion that, yes, it exists, but it do not exist. Yes, it exists interdependently, it do not exist inherently. Oh, I see, emptiness is definitely meaning of interdependent arising. Oh, interdependent arising is absolutely meaning of what it means by lack of inherent existence. Oh, I see. So you get a full confirmation in your understanding through this analytical meditation or analytical process. You gain a kind of conclusional wisdom. You say, yes, that's it. Maybe you may not have so many words to say it, but in your understanding, yes, that's it. Like you kind of stem onto it. Then that wisdom is called wisdom of analysis. And that wisdom is object of your meditation on emptiness. So you see, it's very much like the conclusion is empty, but yet it exists. Everything kind of losing as the way how you used to apprehend, but yet everything makes sense. Everything is like kind of nakedly, present to you. It is own right. Nothing loses, but yet everything like completely lost. The way how you used to apprehend it. Those you hear, those you see, those you feel, those you think, everything like kind of really makes sense in one taste. You see, it is void, yet it is blissful. Void, but it is something to be apprehended, but not the way how you used to apprehend, in a grasping way, you see. So simply, in short, the conclusion that the actualize, whether as an I or whether as a phenomena, exists but do not exist. Void, but yet it is in the present. It completely lost, but at the same time, it is apprehendable because you can feel it, you can understand it. It is so wonderful. You see, it's kind of like a bird, the cage bird release. You see, you feel completely kind of unobstructed release, but yet there is kind of weight. You can still feel the weight. You still need to use the wing to really stay afloat, but yet you are not kind of hold back. You see, so in other words, your experience is very much like the balloon. You release the balloon in the space. It is completely empty, but yet there is a conditional thing to make sure it is still float, because if the balloon, the air bursts out, you cannot float. You see, so there's a conditional factor, but yet it is so light. You see, it is so liberating. You see, so that experience is like now it become the object of your meditation. So simply meditating on the the wisdom of void and existent, the union of bliss and empty, that you actualize from your analytical meditation, is your object of meditation, absorption meditation. You see, so simply repeating that meditation again and again, that's how that you purify the layers or conceptual fabrications. Of course, eventually, initial level, one will realize the conceptual realizations, but still, there's still needed of help of reasoning, help of external, the dependence to really realize it, But with that help, when you realize it, you realize very much in the conceptual level, you see. So by continuously getting more and more absorption level of meditation, eventually, lead to a stage that completely, free from the conceptual dependency. You see, it's just absolutely dissolved into complete, the state of negation from the two extremes, and completely dissolved into absolute bliss, union with, void of entire conceptuality. You see, then you achieve the sustainable level of, that deep meditative state. Then very much, reaching to the direct realization of the non-conceptual realization of emptiness, so something like that. You see, so in any way, so this is very much like the meditation process. How to go about it. But until you actualize, until you don't actualize that, we cannot cut the root. And the point here is, cannot cut the root cause of the samsara, the self-grasping ignorance, you see. So until you realize that non-conceptual realization of wisdom, of emptiness, cannot cut the root, the self-grasping ignorance, like that. So therefore, not only those who wish to achieve enlightenment, but even those who attempt to actualize self-nirvana, of hero and solitary realizer, or even just wish to achieve freedom from the control of karma and delusion, control. You see, at this stage, we can understand how troublesome when we have to stay under the control of karma and delusion. That's quite nasty, isn't it? There's so many things doesn't go in the way how we want. That is simply because of the control of karma and control of delusion. There's so many things we do not wish to think that way. We don't want to get angry. We don't want to get attached, grasping. But then but uncontrollably it comes into our mind, meaning it is under the control of delusion. You see, then we don't want to age, but it's aging. We don't want to get sick, but getting sick. We don't want any trouble in life, but there's so many troubles. The roller coaster like life. We do not wish to experience that, and we find every single means to overcome that, but nothing help. Nothing help. You see, we are our proof. We are the proof. Since little, we don't want to get old, but we are all, most of us all. And most of us went through quite a ups and downs of our health also, in some way, we don't know wish to experience that, but we got it. And we will continue to experience like that, including the death that which nobody wants, is so difficult to accept, isn't it? That also will come because we are under the control of karma, you see. So no need to talk about liberation, but just to be free from the control of karma and delusion, we have to achieve the Arya level of the path. You see, so in order to achieve that, you need to realize emptiness directly. Otherwise, just realizing Bodhicitta also, you cannot achieve that. You see, so therefore, attempt the method to realize dependent arising or emptiness. This is briefly like that. Now, it says in the text, showing the right view. It says, one who sees the cause and effect of all phenomena of both cyclic existence and the state beyond sorrow as forever unbetraying, and for whom any object trusted in by grasping mind has completely disparate, has at that time entered the path pleasing the Buddhas. So, so very much, first, you start to have a complete, understanding that everything is, everything is a play of cause and condition, karmic law, cause and effect, whether to do with samsara, whether to do with the liberation, everything is a byproduct of it is right cause, it is right condition. So first, very much understand the definite meaning of karma, how it works, and definite meaning of interdependent rising, how it works, you see. So the general understanding of the karma, very much everybody know, very familiar, you see. The virtuous karma will bring production of happiness, goodness. The negative karma, like such as, engaging in a 10 non-virtuous action, will bring about suffering result, unfavorable, experiences. But here, we have to understand, furthermore than that, the understanding of the law of cause and effect, or law of interdependent rising. And that can be interpreted, in accordance with the understanding of interdependent rising based on the four philosophical schools, such as the Vaibhasika, Saudantika, Chittamatra, Saudantika Madhyamika, Pasangika Madhyamika. All of these Buddhist four schools, they assert selflessness. Not everyone assert emptiness. This particular term even though in meaning, yes, but as far as concerned, term, the common term of the right view is very much the emptiness of self, or the selflessness, such as Viveka, assert selflessness, but do not use the term, emptiness. You see, then the later philosophical school, they assert the selflessness of person, and the emptiness is very much like gross and subtle level of understanding on the emptiness. But when it comes to meaning, what do you mean by selflessness of person? What do you mean by emptiness? Very much everyone will give the same answer in this, same answer in the same wording, but different meaning. Same wording is the meaning of emptiness, meaning of selflessness, meaning of interdependent arising. Such as the Viveka school, why the person is empty of self? Because the person is interdependent existent. Then the later school, why the person is empty of true existence, or empty of dualistic existence. Why is the person is empty of intrinsic existence or inherent existence? The answer would be because the person is a person exists in the nature of interdependent arising. So you see, interdependent arising is the meaning to emptiness, meaning to selflessness to all the philosophers, all the Buddhist philosophers. So the interdependent arising, meaning things exist, dependent on something. You see, things exist dependent on something. You see, so now here, the dependent on something not necessarily has to be just about cause and effect dependency. You see, yes, cause and effect dependency is one understanding, but dependent arising, dependent on something, go beyond just cause and effect dependent arising. It also has the, because cause and effect dependent arising is only reasonable for those functioning phenomena, those permanent phenomena. You see, those functioning phenomena, those impermanent phenomena. As far as concerned, a permanent phenomena, there's also a permanent phenomena, like space is permanent, like emptiness is permanent. So the permanent phenomena cannot be defined by exists in the manner of cause and effect. You see, if the phenomena is in the nature of cause and effect, meaning its nature has to be impermanent. You see. So therefore, now the second level of understanding of dependent arising is dependent on part and particles, not necessarily dependent on its cause. Maybe it is dependent on its condition, and that could be part and particles. Third level of dependent arising is dependent on perception, dependent on labeling of the mind. You see, now here dependent arising, meaning of dependent arising, referring to the labeling of the mind, also has two categories, such as the Chitta Matra mind-only school. The dependent labeling mind has to be qualified to be true existent by its nature. Otherwise, the mind will not have the capability to make existence of something else. You see, because it need to have a true substance as a true existence. If the mind is true existence, then that mind will have the capability to hold all the potential of entire other existence. So that meaning, when the mind is true existence, then the mind can hold the imprint of all the actions of the past then whenever that imprint express, phenomena are actualized. So therefore, the Chitta Madhurya school, understand that every phenomena are the ripening of your mind, and we normally very much use the similar way of how Chitta Madhurya think, even though that is not ultimate view, but we sometimes mistaken, even though we supposed to hold the view of the Pasangika, but most of time our attitude is very much like Chitta Madhurya view, like such as saying everything is karma. When something happens, you say this is due to karma. And sometimes we also say, oh, this is arising of your mind. This is arising of your thought. You see. So this is the reason of your thought projection, isn't it? Now you see, arising of your mind. In the Chitta Madhurya understanding, is arising of the karmic seed, karmic imprint. Whenever that karmic imprint or karmic seed expresses in your continuum, in your consciousness, and that bring about actualizations of the external phenomena, such as eye consciousness. When the eye consciousness open and you see the form, when there's no eye consciousness, you have the form to that eye consciousness do not exist, isn't it? So, and that very much expressed when you don't have the karma to see the form, you won't see the form, isn't it? We normally think like that, You need to have a karma to see Buddha. You need to have a karma to see, karma to be in a beautiful place like Switzerland, isn't it? We normally say all the beautiful in the Switzerland is due to our merit, due to our karma, isn't it? Meritorious karma. So where this meritorious karma lies, and that meritorious karma lies in my mental factor as an imprint. And when I actualize that imprint, then I actualize the existence out there, you see. But again, it still is false, because the Chitta Madhurya view holder, the mind that bring about the existence of the phenomena has to be true existent, and that brings the false. Now, as far as concerned with the Pasangika Madhyamika, the interdependent arising is very much referring to interdependent to the imputation of the your mind, projection of the your mind, labeling of your mind. But that labeling mind, the subject, has to be free from being true existent. So that brings the differences from the Chitta Madhurya view, you see. Is a free of being from true existent. Not only that, has to be free of being intrinsic existent, inherent existent. The ultimate negation to the ultimate view is the intrinsic or substantial or inherent existent, which, such as substantial existent or inherent existent, is apprehended by the Saudantika Madhyamika, the second last school, Saudantika Madhyamika. For Saudantika Madhyamika, who do not assert true existence, that's why the view is become much more higher than the Chitta Madhurya school, which from the third school. But it is not ultimate view of emptiness, because it is still whole, the grasping of inherent existence, you see. So for the Saudantika Madhyamika, for the Saudantika Madhyamika, self and phenomena are emptiness. Why is interdependent arising? Interdependent on what? Interdependent on inherent substantial existing base, inherent or the substantial base, you see. So either from the subject or from the object, it has to be something substantial, like kind of seed, like kind of substance. You need to have a tiny seed to grow or actualize something, you see. you cannot be totally from empty mind able to bring the existence of something. You need to have a substantial existence or inherent existence. It can be so tiny, but it has to be there. So you see, so due to that, the inherent existence is established for the Sautrantika Madhyamika, but inherent existence become the subtlest negation to Pasangika Madhyamika's view. The highest level of the view, the subtlest negation for emptiness is all the wrong view in relation to the Pasangika, all the wrong view of the earlier assertion of all the four earlier philosophical schools. So, so the final, the Pasangika Madhyamika view, the interdependent arising, the subject is completely lacking of not only true existence, but also lacking of intrinsic and inherent existence. So therefore, it exists interdependently, meaning it exists interdependent on merely labeling of the mind. You see, it depends on something. That dependency is nothing more than merely labeling it, nothing more than that. Merely labeling it. That's why we understand everything exists merely labeled by mind. And that mind also exists merely labeled in the name. You see, that subject also exists merely labeled in the name. So therefore, in short, subject and object, self and the phenomena, samsara and nirvana, everything exists merely in the label of the mind. In one taste, in its absolute nature. You see, why able to bring one taste? Because there's not like an earlier school, even the Pasangika school, or the Sautrantika school, even though the viewpoint is so subtle, but yet is not absolute subtle because it still asserts substantial existence, isn't it? So once you assert substantial existence, then how possible to be everything in one taste? Everything's nature in one taste, because the substance, like such as the substance or the seed of the orange and the substance of the seed of the apple, their ultimate nature cannot be same, isn't it? In their conventional label, because it got a special substance, which produce only orange, and that special substance cannot produce apple, isn't it? So therefore, you cannot actualize, they're in ultimate one taste. So from in here, from the ultimate viewpoint, why the like such as Nagarjuna, Lama Tsongkhapa, Buddha's ultimate intent in the view of emptiness, that everything, at the end of the day, everything comes in one taste, in one nature. You see, so being different nature, all the conventional differences are all fabrication, not truth. It's false. You see, so therefore, in the viewpoint of the final viewpoint of the emptiness from the Pasangika Madhyamika view, all the minds, the ordinary, like our minds, are completely mistaken from that point of view. You see, because how deep level of wisdom we try to apply, we very much won't able to apply the way the Pasangika Madhyamika would do, which completely lacking of the substance that existed from the object and subject. You see, so so in any way. So yeah, it's a bit confusing for somebody, for some people, bit haywire. So not to worry. This part, not to worry. In short, what my meaning is, what you call you see, who see the cause and effect of all phenomena, both silent existence and the state beyond sorrow, forever unbetraying. You see, who understand the the absolute existence, which in the nature of interdependent arising. So just try to deliver the meaning. When we talk about interdependent arising, there are many levels of understanding. Okay, so the interdependent on cause and condition, cause, interdependent on part and particle, and the last one is interdependent on the mind, simply to the mind, the labeling of the mind. Okay, then for whom? So when you start to, when you come to that stage, then you see, kind of you are kind of introduced to the real idea of emptiness. You see, when you start to understand everything is dependent arising, whichever level it may be, but there's nothing exists independently. You have this idea, that meaning, your understanding is already directed to the understanding of the process of emptiness. As for whom any object trusted in the grasping mind has completely disappeared, and also someone there who come to a realization that whatever faults, limitations like samsara, everything are the result of not overcoming the grasping. So then here the grasping was many levels of grasping. Let's see, so grasping as attachment grasping, aversion grasping, ignorant grasping. Then from the philosophical point of view of the grasping, referring to the, like such as Bodhicitta, grasping of permanent self, grasping of independent self, grasping of autonomic self. You see, so you need to overcome that. You see, then for Chittamatra, grasping of true, even though lose the grasping of true existing object, but still hold on the grasping of true existing subject, isn't it? So that's the grasping. Then for the Saudhantika Madhyamika, you let go, you overcome the grasping of true existence, both subject and object, but you still hold on to the grasping of intrinsic existence. As I mentioned before, intrinsic, substantial existence, substantial, inherent existence. You see? So now, when you come to a point that you understood, at least theoretically, from looking at the philosophical view, and what do you call the logical understanding, like such as person, my body, me is definitely not permanent, isn't it? My body is decaying. As a person also evolving, how can be permanent? So logically also understand. So you're losing the grasping. You see, you start to understand, oh yes, my absolute nature is free from grasping or permanent. Or then free from dualistic existence. Free from inherent existence. Oh, okay. So that meaning self and phenomena, everything, in fact, in reality, is completely lacking of inherent existence. Oh, that would be my ultimate nature, ultimate existence. So when you come to a conclusion in your understanding that as long as you don't let go of all this grasping and you don't actualize empty of this grasping, then life after life is completely going to be destroyed. Like how this life was put into a samsaric situation because of those grasping. And if I don't overcome that, future lifetime too, I'm going to start in the cyclic existence. So when you understand that, when you come to a firm kind of, okay, this is it, meaning that you are also open your heart towards the actual understanding of emptiness. You see, then has that time entered the path pleasing the Buddha. So when you start to understand like that, then you have to acknowledge that I really know the path. So I really now I understand the actual Buddha's teaching. You see, now I enter into the Buddha's path, and this is really pleasing to the Buddha, and it is the path that the whole 84,000 teachings of the Buddha taught to make us to understand emptiness. You see, 84,000 teaching. Buddha taught 84,000 different type of teachings, 3 wheel trainings. You see, but ultimately everything is for us to make us understand emptiness, to realize emptiness. He taught sutra, tantra, all these philosophical views. Everything is for us to make us to understand the ultimate wisdom of emptiness, which is lacking of inherent existence. That's why it called the path pleasing to Buddhas. So like that. So in short, in one word, we say, what make you think that now I understand Buddha Dharma? What make you think that, I can claim that I enter into the Buddha's path? So the answer will be, because I understand everything exists interdependently. Nothing exists independently. See, at least, that should be the answer. Then the second part of the answer is, no wonder, why there's ups and downs, why there's samsara, why there's so many distinctions, differences, high and low, Buddha and samsaric being, all these inequalities, etc. It's because of the grasping. Is it because of the grasping? You see? So when you're able to give these 2 answers, means yes, you understood Buddha Dharma. You understood Buddha Dharma. When you start to practice this, then you enter into the path pleasing to the Buddhas. You see, when you realize that, you realize Buddha's path. You realize, actually, realization. So like that. So now it is. Then the definition, not having completed the analysis of the right view. Okay. If the appearance of dependent relation, which is unbetraying, is accepted separately from emptiness, and as long as they are seen as separate, then one has still not realized the Buddha's intent. You see? So now this is so this is a special understanding in relation to the Pasangika Madhyamika view, which here Lama Tsongkhapa illustrating it. This is special characteristic. So if you don't bring into this special characteristic in understanding of emptiness, then there's a danger of falling into the earlier views, like Sautrantika Madhyamika's views or Chitta Matara's views, you see. And that is the interdependent arising. If you don't understand interdependent arising as an actual definition of emptiness or actual definition of lack of inherent existence, then your understanding of emptiness is not completed, not the ultimate one. Or even you understand, even you feel it, you know it, you understand the void of all the grasping or emptiness, but that emptiness, if unable to interpret its definition in interdependent arising, then you have not completed the absolute understanding of emptiness. One of the main reasons is if you are unable to interpret each other's meaning on these two, like interdependent arising as a meaning of emptiness, emptiness as a meaning of interdependent arising, the two ultimate extreme weren't able to overcome. When the true extreme is not overcome, ultimate realization on ultimate possession on emptiness is not established. You see, so therefore, like in Sutra, form is empty, emptiness is form. Form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than form. That is the definition of emptiness. Like in the Sutra, this is the presentation of the definition of emptiness. You see, so when you apprehend form, you have to apprehend the form in the understanding of lack of inherent existence or empty of inherent existence. When you apprehend lack of inherent nature of form, you understand or you apprehend in the nature of, in the dependent arising of the form, or the form is in fact is a production of its cause. You see, so therefore, so this could be meditated, understand these few words in the Heart Sutra. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form, form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than form. Then you relate to yourself. I is empty, emptiness is I is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than I or me. You see, so whichever object that you want to choose for meditation, then you try to actualize the both wings of the main characteristic of emptiness, which is dependent arising and the void of inherent existence. So until you're able to do that, then the final intent of the Buddha on the emptiness view is not actualized. You see, then you are very much either falling into the viewpoint of Sautantika Madhyamika, or viewpoint of Chittamatra, or viewpoint of Pasangika, or viewpoint of Vaibhasika. You may be falling into one of them, or maybe maybe completely even beyond that. So now the definition of having completed is analysis of the right view. Now definition. If these two realizations are happening simultaneously without alternation, then, and from merely seeing dependent relation as completely unbetraying, and definite ascertainment comes that completely destroy the way of objects are apprehended as truly existent, at that time, analysis of the ultimate view is complete. You see, so now you see in practical level, whenever we see each other here, you see the existence, but simultaneously, you see the existence because of so many factors, like the Zoom, internet, etc., and all the different interdependent characteristics. But all this you see in the understanding of lack of inherent existence. You see, so now in order to see the lack of inherent existence, you need to peel all the skin, the earlier skin of negation. You see, so first you peel the skin of all the negation that asserted by Vaibhasika school. So now here comes the philosophical views on emptiness is beneficial. It's a way for us to get to the final view. So it's like an onion. You skin, you skin one layer, two layer, second layer, like that. First you skin out all the negation of the Vaibhasika. Okay, like I'm looking at you. You are interdependent arising, but I see in the nature of emptiness. I see you in the nature of emptiness of being permanent, being autonomous existent, being independent existent. Now all the Vaibhasika's negation peel out. Now after that, move on to the Sautantika, also similar. So then move on to Chittamatra. Now, I totally negate your true existence from your side. It's complete projection of my mind. Yeah, but I need to peel out the layer of the true existent mind. You see, I need to make sure, understand that the mind that I'm apprehending is not true existent, the way how Chittamatra says. You see, so you peel that out. You see, now you go to the Sautantika Madhyamika. Okay, now I understand the projecting my mind, perceiving you, also lack of true existence, but it has to be somewhere, some substance. Maybe it could be the Wi-Fi, maybe it could be the computer, maybe it could be the cells in your body, or maybe the cells in my eyes. That's why I'm able to see you, isn't it? So it's like substantial existence, So that need to peel out. Okay, that also you peel out. Oh, no. You see, there's no substantial existence, inherent existence at all from your side, from computer side, from my side, from my mind side. So the moment you peel out the substantial existence, lack of inherent existence, you completely come to a point that you are simply exist merely labeled by my mind. You see, simply exists labeled by mind. You see, so so the moment you see object, you need to have that understanding, that realization. You see, now everything you see, everything you hear, you understand in that way. You see, the moment you start to lose the grasping, the moment you start to lose the grasping of any objects, you understand that object in the existence of interdependent arising. You see, so when you realize that, then you realize the absolute definitions of emptiness. So it's like that. Okay, the particular special quality of Prasangika view, it says here. Furthermore, appearance eliminates the extreme of existence, and emptiness eliminates the extreme of non-existent. You see, the rest of the philosophical school, the moment they establish non-existent from its own side, then they cannot establish existence. Including Saudantika, you need to have something to establish existence, you see. But for Prasangika Madhyamika, because of there's no substantial existence, therefore you're able to establish existence, you see. So non-existent, non-existent eliminate, what do you call, the appearance eliminate the extreme of existence. Because of exists, that's why it do not exist inherently. Because of lack of inherent existence, therefore, therefore it is empty. You get it? Appearance eliminate extreme of existence. Then emptiness eliminate extreme of non-existent. Because of lack of inherent existence, therefore exist. You see, because of lack of dualistic existence, therefore it exists. Because of not permanent, not independent, not autonomy, therefore it exists. Therefore it exists. You see. So again, you use the old school philosophical view to help to eliminate these two extremes and actualize the correct view. So this one is, Prasangika is a special. It says like this. So if you realize how emptiness manifests in the manner of cause and effect, and then you are not captivated by wrong notion of holding extreme views. So it's like this, there's the Nagarjuna's fundamental treatise says that which is dependent arising is naturally at peace. That which is dependently arising, then it really harmonizes, the existence into actual real existence. Like all of us really exist, isn't it? All of us experiencing samsara, and all of us definitely going to be enlightened one day. I'm not ghost, you are not ghost. We are real human being. You see, you can really able to establish the legitimate existence. When you're able to establish existence on the basis of correct view of emptiness. Then the Chandrakirti's commentary on the middle way says, because things arise dependently, this misconception cannot bear scrutiny. Therefore, reasoning of dependent arising cut all the attachment of the bad views. You see, so all the earlier views, especially if you use the meaning of dependent arising as a dependent mainly on the labeling of the mind, then that will able to purify all the wrong views of even the earlier philosopher schools like that. Okay, so now in short, you see, you can use the you can use to apprehend emptiness on there are like 4 analyses which could be beneficial to note down when you do the emptiness meditation. So the 4 analytical analysis to examine the true nature of self or phenomena. The first one is identification of what is to be refuted or negated. So first you understand, make sure you understand what is the negation that you're going to overcome. You see, so since you very much want to follow what Nagarjuna have realized, Lama Tsongkhapa realized, what is Buddha's intent on the emptiness view, then the negation is lack of inherent existence. So dualistic existence is not good enough to be your negation. This is very, very gross, you see. So the negation is the inherent existence or substantial existence, true existence, was it substantial or inherent existence is your negation. So first you have to establish that. Second is determining the mode in which I could exist. So then you need to know where to, bring about, eradication of this negation and able to establish the legitimate self, within the aggregates, without the aggregates, with the part of the aggregates, with the whole of the aggregates, you go and search, so that's what I mean. Then third is I as one with the aggregates. The first one, determine the mood. Oh, sorry. The determining the mood in which I could exist. Okay, those are a few points. Then after that, you examine whether I as one with the aggregates. Then the fourth is I as a different from the aggregates. So you're able to analyze like that, then you were able to reach to a point that you truly are able to, you weren't able to find the true existing I. So you will able to reach to the emptiness of, discovering the legitimate I. I that which is exists, but at the same time do not exist. Then the chariot or carriage, the analysis of carriage. So again, that in the Chandrakirti's commentary on the middle way, it says that the carrot is neither asserted to be other than it is part, first one, nor to be non-other, second one. It does not possess them, third one. It does not depend on the part, fourth one. And the part do not depend on it, fifth one. It is neither the mere collection, six, neither the mere collection of the part, the number 6, nor it is their shape, number 7. So if you read the wisdom chapter of Lamrim Chemo, then it's very clear. So you can read that if you're interested. Yeah. Okay. So I better move on. Okay. Then following verse it says, in this way you may realize exactly the vital point of the 3 principal aspects of the path. Resort to seeking solitude, generate the power of effort, and quickly accomplish your final goal, my child. Yeah, so so this, as I mentioned at the beginning of the first session, in this teaching, Lama Tsongkhapa taught to, the Sabu Ngaon Thapa is one of the closest, disciple, long time disciple. So here we also should understand the Lama Tsongkhapa intended that similar kind of affection and guidance to us too. So with keeping that in heart, then that one, study, contemplate, and realize the 3 principles of path, which is the main principal point of the entire Buddha Dharma. then just knowing is not good enough. Then we need to resort to seeking solitude. So we study, then we also have to find time to do contemplation, meditation, and best, you really dedicate your time for a long time until you realize the path in retreats. If not, at least occasionally, find your very best time to time to deepen your experience in the progress of the path. But that only can be done with a great sense of great effort, you see, by overcoming so many distractions, challenges, and gathering of all the resources for retreat, etc. So with the effort, joyous effort, on the basis of knowing the correct path, then by diligently practicing, then quickly accomplish your final goal, which is enlightenment. With the process, as I mentioned before, the gradual process to then eventually actualize state of full enlightenment. So something like that. So I think complete. Yeah, I already took some more of your time, so I better stop here. Yeah, it become a lot of blah blahs. So if there's any questions, welcome. Otherwise, you can just read through it again, the root text, and try to recall, the today's discussion or other teachings that you had on this particular text, and try to richen your understanding, and that can be helpful. Yeah. Otherwise, just now, I try to avoid the different philosophical point of views, but sometimes it's good to introduce, so that when you're free time, you can use the text, like such as Buddhist tenets, very short short text by Geshe Tenzin, and there are many other texts on Buddhist tenet, but that within the FPMD Center also, you study that, isn't it? So there is a definition of the different 4 schools of philosophy. So once you know the definition, it can be very helpful, as I mentioned, about peeling the skin one by one, and that is very helpful to actualize the final view. Otherwise, directly going to overcoming the lack of inherent existence sometimes can be quite subtle. Then don't know how to really go about overcoming that. But if you go gradually, then you find that, oh, I see. In fact, overcoming the negation of earlier school, in fact, you reach to the absolute view of the emptiness. You see, so like that. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much for everyone, for your patience, for your effort, and appreciate and take care. And
Thank
maybe hope to see you sometime in next year. Yeah, hope to visit your centers. So thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, saying on behalf of everyone coming here today and for the past 3 teachings, how marvelous that we can be in the presence with your deep understanding and knowledge of the Buddha Dharma. And we request you please to stay with us for many teachings in the future, next year, in this life, future lives. Thank you so much, Geshe-la. And I would also like to thank the entire team behind these teachings,
Yes,
who have worked tirelessly for making this coming about. The directors from the 2 other centers, Felix and Jean-Paul, the translation teams, Severin and Raphael, Felix also doing the translations, and Hans-Peter, who is recording, and not least Tara, who is supporting with all of the technique. Thank you so much. And then also everyone coming in here today and for the past 2 teachings. Thank you so much. And I would also like to point that in the chat, I have posted information about how to donate, because we invite your generous donations so we can keep these teachings and our wonderful centers running based on volunteers. And then again, back to you, Geshe. Thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time from Donanda.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Lars.
dear
Thank
Geshe,
you.
and bye everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You will have a little time to do short dedication.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Final round. Yes, all the people behind the scene, especially, and the translators and SPCs, directors, everyone. Thank you so much, and everybody for your effort. So now, whatever merit that we accumulate from this session, these few classes, as well as all the merit that we individually, collectively accumulate in the past, we're going to accumulate in the future, in particularly in relation to the impact from the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa, the 3 principal aspects of the path, and all the merit accumulated by all the past, present, and Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and gurus and sentient beings be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering, its cause of karma and delusion, and actualize temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness, enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the adversities in this world, such as the pandemic, then war, natural disaster, diseases, everything, to overcome without delaying even a moment. May this collective merit be a complete cause. Anyone who passed away, in particular in the last 49 days, be free from suffering of death, suffering in intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, actualize high rebirth in Buddha's pure realms, and within that very lifetime, they actualize state of full enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the individuals who have requested prayers from our gurus, like Lama Tsongkhapa, and those who requested prayers from me, and those who request prayers from you, and also those people and animals, anyone, whom we have seen that they are in need of prayer supports. So here we collectively dedicate these prayers, and also especially anyone in this group and your family members, whoever, if in case going through challenges in life, health, wealth, relationship, whatever it may be, then this collective merit through you, who directly, have relation to them, dedicate sincerely, wholeheartedly, and for them to overcome all those challenges and actualize only peace, happiness, virtues, and enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the good people in this world, such as the Lama, all the your spiritual gurus, and yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all your aspirations up to full enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the leaders of the world, leaders, organizations, and individuals who lead your life, be free from all the negative emotions like anger, attachment, and depression, etc. And your heart filled with altruistic attitudes, great compassion, unconditional love and service, and wisdom of selfless, wisdom of emptiness, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only peace, happiness, virtue. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the religious institutions like monasteries, nunneries, and all the Dharma centers, and in particularly that there are 3 centers in Switzerland, be free from all the inner outer sector obstacles, and actualize all the conducive conditions for the preservation of the complete Buddha Dharma in extensive learning, as well as actualizing realization on the stages of path, as well as whoever come in contact with the center and the Dharma get inspired and actualize all the conducive conditions to bring compassion in action relating to those needy ones. And may the community become virtuous, compassionate, harmonious, enlightening community. May this collective merit be a complete cause may all of us, as like the Tsabung Taba, able to follow perfectly the advice of Lama Tsongkhapa, learning and meditating and actualizing the stages of the three principles of path and actualize the state of enlightenment within very short lifetime. May we be able to be blessed that way too. Then understand that dedicate ourselves, the merit and the purpose we dedicate all lies in the nature of interdependent rising, in the nature of lack of inherent existence, emptiness. So if you have any individual dedications, please to dedicate while reciting some of dedication prayers. Oh, India de Nudo Lama Sanji to Jenny Doachi, Yamaluba de Salagorjo, Chanju Simper, but Majapanam, Kawani Mame by Kone Gondo Peva Tony Tower, but Majapanam, Kawani Mame by Kone Gondo Peva Jeremy Tower, but Majapanam, Kawani Mame by Kone Gondo Peva show, Carrera Covision on the Pendant Malichu and Cheresu in the Jazo. Chabe City about the Tejurji, to the Chaji Jamu, the Zinjobe, Kozo Dobo, Chozo, Lemon to but also the Chekondo Shade show. Chisela Meguzer of the Jananga Tillejo Yamados and Temperature, Sasum Jumusenta, Jejurchi. Saragundo Java Zonga Betiju, Shini was on Zebe, the Javanga on Sunday. Kejisaya Dober Majuru, J, Choji Java Zonga, just open. Yes, so much about the 20 months, so much data changes on the direction you let in Java Los Angeles. Then by your Baju Jumbe Bovich that came out of Kudo somebody and the Dagunji Java the Datum Radum, the Zoje Java Tamje, the Mogala Chudong, Daji Jevets, our Sambo Changer of the more Pamasim, then danger chicken, Tamita, don't want the charge of Sambagano, Sojo, the Dagunji Molam, Dubjuro J, Semjaneva, you don't let Taju do any number. Tado Juan, Maverage Bedanzo, maybe Jeno, Cosm, Semjera, Samba Chechen to be Tashi, Chomden, the nature of Rajamayana, but Zobas and Namana, the way of a chazo, Chosama, Kudo Sambola chazo. Diet on Benzadi, all but the names of Duru Zamages, or Diet on Benzadi, all but the names of Duru Zamages, Chomden, the nature of Rajamayana, but Zobas and Mangela Bendevi, Jabola, Chomden, the age of Rajamayana, but Zobas and more than one of the Radu, Jabola. Chazelo mentions a Javicino, then the law maybe the Dajan Hassan of it, Namda Member Negan, Dogerji, then Bajitan from the Jama, then by innovation, so then the evolution to them by your end, never dashes you want the let's settle in Yemepo and the lesson in the Tato there. Kunjo Sun Tashi show. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please take good care of yourself. Take good care of each other.
Would there be time for us to offer in a mandala again?
Okay, sure. Yes.
Good. Thank you. Tara will be sharing the text. I will be the Omse as well. And we will imagine that we offer all of the goods and benefits from this world for the teachings of the Buddha Dharma. Sa shi perki yuk jeng me to tram ri rab lingi ni de kyan pari sangye shin do me che wa yi doko nam ta shi la che pak sho ye son lama dam pa kye nam ke che ki kala Kian se zhi xin zi, ji cha san pei du xie jin ma la, sa ge zhi ki jiao pao, va tu su, idam guru ratnam dalakam yachayami.
Thank you, Lara.
Thank you,
so
Geshe
much. Beautiful standing again.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for being
See
here
you.
today. Bye-bye, everyone.
두리제.
Au revoir. Merci.
Geshe.
두리제.
Merci.